Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to today we are going to discuss the topic of multi-threading in Java. First of all, when we are moving to the multi-threading concept, we have to know some terminology related to the multi-threading. What will be the thread? What will be the process? What will be the task? And these are the some basic terminology. Depends on that only you can better understand the multi-threading concept. Like that here. So, but first, when we are discuss the task means suppose you are writing or you are reading or suppose some work will be the task. The major thing will be the task is a some work and process process is the creating environment to the task, creating environment to the task. And next, third, thread. Thread is the which performs the task. ఇంకా ఏం టైప్ చేయాలి, ఇక్కడే ఉన్నా. Right. Right, the first thing will be the task. First thing is task. Task is nothing but the work what you have to do or the work we are completing. Task is nothing but in a normal terminology it is a work to do. Task is work to do. And the same way multitasking. Multitasking. It is running such type of works multiple parallelly, doing the several works at a time. It is multitasking. In the second one will be the process, which is independently create the environment. Create the environment to do the task. To do the task. And the same multi-process. the same multiprocess. It is such type of environments for the different tasks. Such type of for different tasks. Suppose imagine a thing, you are preparing a document, right? It is a task. For preparing a document, what you do? You are opening the notepad or the Google Docs, any something. Opening the Google Docs. That means it was a process. Google Doc allocating some memory to it and creating environment to perform your task. Same, if you are browse something, you can use the Chrome. It is another process. Okay, browse is one process, notepad is one process. Suppose you are attending Google Meet is another app, then it will be the other process, right? These all process running in your CPU at a moment. It will be the multi-process. Process is the environment to do the task. Okay, thread, it is the important one. It is the smallest unit of process, smallest unit in process, smallest unit in process to do the task, to do the task. The same way multi-threading. Multi-threading. It is a these multiple threads execute concurrently or parallelly. That means suppose imagine a example of the task or scenario. The scenario is mm, suppose you are using the food delivery app, okay, or you are using the WhatsApp application. Suppose taking example of WhatsApp application, simple WhatsApp application. Okay, WhatsApp application. In that WhatsApp application, you are sending one file. Suppose you are sending one file. Task is sending the file. Observe here. Task is sending file or send message. Okay, sending file or message, anything. Sending file or message. In the same way, here process is open your WhatsApp application or WhatsApp app. Okay, and thread is at that moment. Suppose at that moment, imagine the thing, when you are sending the file is the task, and sending the message is one task. Two tasks is there. Suppose you are doing it like, suppose how can we tell is mm, how can we said it is, suppose how it will transfer at a moment. You are transferred to the different contacts. You are sending it to the contact 1, contact 2, contact 3, sending message and receiving. One is for one contact, one is for another contact. Like this threads will be separated. Suppose sending the file and the message I will doing in the same time. One thread is for send the message, send the message. Same way for send the file, which handles this task doing work. It is a thread. Another example taking as a food app. Okay, food app you can take. Suppose in the food app, first thing it will do is when you orders a food, when you orders a food, it detects your location, right? Detects the location. It is a task. Task is ordering the food. Suppose task is order the food. Take an example of order the food. Order food. Right. In this process, open a food app. Open food app. In these threads will be the when you are ordering a food, one thread will detect your location, one thread show your driver's location, one thread show your suppose updated status of your delivery, one thread will do information of your food restaurant. Suppose thread 1 detects or updates food status. This will run concurrently, right? Thread 2 updates and detects delivery man location. Like this way, that means thread is execution of your task. Ordering the food is a task. In the ordering the food, it will involve different smallest units to achieve that. And also sending notification, right? Sending the notifications of when it will arrive. Like this, every thread will be the smallest unit in a process to achieve your task. Smallest unit in a process to achieve the task. Next will be the right. Normally it is that when we are moving to the implementation, you have to understand this terms, what will be the task and what will be the process and what will be the thread, right? And how can we create a thread, now we have to see. And how can we perform the multi-threading, right? For that, move to the Eclipse. No. Yeah. Okay. Okay, okay, tell me. Telugu or English? No, man. చేసుకుంది. No, man. If you don't mind, then you will call me back. No. For in the afternoon session. Okay, okay. Right. I am creating one class for the multi-threading implementation. Simply multi-thread is my class. Suppose in this I am creating one public static void main. Finish. Thread is which performs the task. Thread is which performs the task. Right. Right. Here my class is created. Now I'll do one thing. First I have to check. Suppose normally we are writing like a printing one printing of one statement, right? Printing of one statement. It will be the suppose hello normal program of when the basic with the Java. At that moment, it is one task to print this hello, right? That means this task is performed in a Java. That means one thread is allocated to you. We can see what the thread is first. Normally your Java execution start from the main method, right? This main will be the one thread. I said it before also, the main acts as a one thread here. How can you know? Here is first thing. Normally when you are dealing with the classes and all, one keyword will be the class. When you are go with the exception handling, exception is one class. Like this here, when you are go with the threading and multi-threading, thread is class to achieve that. Thread is one class. So thread dot count, I think thread dot active count, it will displays your active count of the thread, how many threads are in the active status, right? Here for that sysout, normally this method returns the integer value. I have to display in a system.out.println. Maybe it will show say 0 also. I don't know why, because normally thread creation and the thread vanish. When the thread task will be the completed, it will vanishes. One is displaying. Maybe sometimes it will display 0. Why? Because my thread main is my thread. It has to perform this entire education. If I will go with the outside here, then it will show say count will be the less. We'll see that also. And it is the active count is a method to know the how many active threads in your program. And another method is that is for know the thread name. For knowing of the thread name, how can you know the thread name is get name is a method to know the thread name. Okay, get name. Okay, wait a minute. Thread is one class. Observe here, thread is one class. I can check that method. Right. Uh, it is a thread class. Normally it is a thread class. Thread class implements by a runnable. Okay. Thread class implements by the runnable method. Runnable is a interface. That means it contains only abstract methods. How can you get it is a suppose thread implements the runnable string name, okay, and private int priority boolean daemon stillborn, and one method is there. The main method will be the, I think, start. For that, control F. Okay, start. Right. Here we have a void run method. This run method actually implements your thread. That run method will actually implement. That run method is in a runnable class, and start is a method to run your runnable method. Always you have to understand one thing is, if you are creating a thread and it has to be start, okay, it has to be start method, and okay, wait, it is synchronized start. Synchronized start, what it means, normally in the multi-threading you can get a one issue. It was suppose, imagine the thing, one order is there, that order will be accepted by a two delivery mans. Okay, the order will be accepted by two delivery mans. It will be the race condition. We are calling it as a race condition. That means the same task will be try to access by a two persons or through two threads. It will throw some issue that we can achieve by using a synchronization. In the tomorrow class we will see that synchronization. Today we are discussing about the major of the start. Normally start is a method in a thread class. By using this thread only you can access, right, that method, wait. Okay, we'll see that method also name. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Normally how can you create a thread is thread p1 equals to new thread of. This is the way you can create a thread. Normally thread is one class. We are creating object for that. You are creating object for that. Suppose this thread is I am creating. Suppose if I run this, how many threads it has to display? Normally it has to display two. Normally it has to display two threads, but it will display only one. Why? Because here we are creating the thread, but not threads, but not start the thread. So until unless you are performing the start, it will show, it will not implementing that, or taking this thread into the active state. Suppose you are making into the active state, you have to use t1 dot start. T1 dot start. T1 dot start. If you are making like this, two active threads. Suppose if I done like this for multiple objects, The same object name I can't use, so I'll go with the T3. Here I am creating the 4 threads, T1, T2, 3T, T4, and one main. The active count should display 5. Once I'll check it. Illegal thread. Oh, sorry. Always I am using the T1 dot start, right? Because of that. T2 dot start, T3 dot start, T4 dot start. Start is a method, or you are indicating your thread to start. Independently, your start method calls the run method. You are calling the start method, but start method calling the run method in your runnable interface. I'll show that one also. It's not an issue. It will running in displaying. It will load time. Hello, and thread count it will show as a 2, but I am creating the how many threads? 5 threads. Why? Because some threads will be the vanish after completion of your performation of task. Threads will be the vanishes, so it will not be the same. Sometimes it will shows 4, sometimes it will shows 5, like that. It depends, not any fixed thing. Suppose I'll run it again. One only, it will not any fixed thing. Suppose I'll make one thing. At least a little bit slow. Okay. Normally your CPU have also the task. Suppose when you are go to the task manager, task manager, it will shows the how many processes and how many threads it will execute in your system. Time, it takes time to open. Wait for a while. Right. Calculating. If you observe here, these are the apps my running, and background also some processes will be run. When I open any new task, it will allocates or uses some CPU. It will optimize 79% of my CPU. Because of that, my system running slow, and memory also 94%. Right, and go with the performance. Right. Here, go to the memory and go to the CPU. In the CPU, in bottom, you can observe the utilization speed processes. My system runs the 273 processes itself independently can run a task. But the thing is, suppose if you are allocating 273, normally if you observe logical process is one term. What this logical process will do is, that means at a time I can run 8 uh, tasks. Okay, at a time I can run 8 tasks. This meaning logical processor 8 means at a time for a millisecond I can run the 8 tasks. Here it will handles the 1 3, suppose it will be the 1,36,000 nearly. That means this task has to be run in a minutes of time. So if I allocating only with the processes, not including the threads, then the issue is 8 by 272. It will takes 8 3s are nearly 30 milliseconds. Nearly 30 milliseconds. But when you are dealing with the threads included in the process, in the 277 processes, every thread will be handles one task. So because of that, this logical processor also you are utilizing 65%, like that. That means it will be the depends on the some laptops have the logical process will be that 12, some laptops have the 24. It will depends on the laptop versions. It will shows the entire thing of your issue. Under the process is nothing but a, suppose if I show here, I am opening Chrome in my task manager, Chrome, OBS Studio, Notepad, Eclipse, and the it was a task manager. Everything will be the one process. Eclipse is one process. This Notepad is one process. OBS Studio is one process. Chrome is one process. In that process, we are performing the different tasks. Suppose in this, it is one task using the task is using my Google Meet, and I can go with the another new tab. It will be another task. This will be handled by one thread, this will be handled by one thread in a milliseconds of time. For every milliseconds my system can handle the 8 tasks. I have such type of 1,36,000 tasks that I have to be executed in a good way, right? Right. Next we'll move with the how can we create a threads. It is a normal way of creating the threads. How can we create our custom threads and the processes? Suppose my task is I have to print something. Okay, I have to print something, then I have to create one function to that and achieve that. How can I do that? In a normally Java provides us to create the threads in a two ways. One, by normally thread was one class, right? So by using the thread inheritance concept I can achieve that. This slow. I can close this. Right. OBS Studio occupies a lot. Right. Now how can I create a thread is, I think it is the name thread dot get name.